Look at this chart. This is the altcoin chart right now in an environment where BlackRock bought over $500 million worth of ETH in the past 10 days. Altcoins will explode. I have so much trouble. Being bearish on what is going on right now because of what we see happening on this chart with institutions and big money getting into position. If altcoins make a run for it and break out of this multi-year pattern, altcoins will explode. And it's really not clickbait. I know some don't like it, but that's what's going to happen. If we have continued institutional inflows in things like Ethereum and the approvals of other altcoin ETFs and big money coming in and governments continuing to buy Bitcoin and trillions coming into the space, altcoins will explode. In this video, I want to break down exactly what's going on the Ethereum charts. My heart's beating fast as we approach this lower trend line. I want to look at ADA on the zoomed out weekly. Right now, ADA has broken, even since my most recent video, has broken a very key area on the weekly, still 6 days left of the candle, and XRP. I actually want to visit our intelligence risk model on the XRP long-term risk heat map, kind of get a sense of what's going on there, what upside could look like if we get an altcoin breakout. So please hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. And if you're not in our intelligence system, check it out. 40% off going on right now. We have our members back there planning their exits. This is a little glimpse of our exit planner. You can use our risk mode and use our risk models to plan your profits. Go figure. Could you imagine? Could you imagine making some money in crypto? That's why I built that system. Check it out if you're interested. This is altcoin market cap zoomed out on the weekly. So here's the thing. I just want to mention this to you. This has been years of consolidation and accumulation. And by the way, from bear market lows, we are up currently 171%. But I want to use Ethereum, ADA, and XRP analysis in this video to just kind of talk about kind of piggybacking off of what my earlier video was about, but even more so now we've got a little bit of price action. And I actually want to mention something because somebody in the Discord, let's start with Ethereum. Somebody in the Discord was asking, hey, how did you get that triangle? It would be great if we break into the apex, but where did this come from? And right here is a glimpse of December 2024 video. This is a very long time ago. Not that long, but there's the triangle. We were talking about at that time a break to the upside. We were, it was $3,200 Ethereum. And guess what? You know what happened. We fell to the downside and broke to the downside. Now, I want to take this a step further. This was in February, kind of when the break to the downside was happening. You can see on the chart. Check this clip. We have institutions buying. We have whales buying like crazy recently, even in the dip while retail is capitulating. I just don't think we're going down to that area. But what's possible is this fake breakout, the busted pattern, right? This is what I've been tracking for months. This was back in February of earlier this year. And this was the busted pattern we've been tracking. If we go to the chart now, here is how it has played out. We did not hit that target, this crazy triangle target for Ethereum to the downside. We came down a little bit. We got the dip. There's the tariff dip, and we got the pullback. So that's where the triangle stems from. The reason why this is such a big deal for me is because Ethereum is the number 2 crypto, right? And it is the number 1 altcoin in terms of market cap. So even if you're not an Ethereum holder, this is such an important chart because if Ethereum manages for the bulls to take control and this turns into a true busted pattern, and that is we break in the apex and we break to the upside, this is massive for altcoins, especially as we start entering this quantitative tightening, fizzling out phase. So that's the key point here. Right here was quantitative tightening beginning. And this was kind of what led into the bear market. We have the flip side of that happening after we just came out of a massive high fear event. And Ethereum right now is testing this lower trend line at this very moment. If we go look at this on the daily chart, we start zooming in. I don't have it up. I don't know where it went, but I had this kind of triangle that we've been tracking. I can kind of chart it very quickly, but this triangle right here, right? And we had a little bit of a fake breakout out of that mini triangle on the daily. We've made it back into the apex, and there's that multi-year trend line right there. Ethereum is approaching it. Here's the thing. Will there be resistance again? We've already done this. We've seen this play out 1, 2, 3 times, and we failed every time. Now that we have a busted shorter term triangle in play right at the apex, maybe this is the moment, everybody. We start getting some separation to the upside from this triangle. But either way, if you hold Ethereum or don't, doesn't matter. This is a very big move. Let's go over and look at Cardano. And by the way, we'll track that Ethereum move as we go into tonight, into tomorrow. Here's Cardano on the zoomed out. I want to point this out because this is something we've been talking a lot about, is the comparison of where Cardano is right now at this moment of the cycle, even this consolidation that has taken place. You notice if we look at this time last cycle, remember we were talking about how Cardano it needed to consolidate between that 20-week and above the 50. If we look at Cardano right now, what it's been doing, it has been doing that. It's been consolidating between the two. There's the 20, here's the 50. And not only that, right now, everybody, these moving averages, and the 200 is right in the middle, these moving averages are converging like nobody's business. And if we open up our oscillators here, and this is where it's kind of like, you know what? Maybe there's going to be, I'm always anticipating downside. You know that. I'm always just anticipating downside. Maybe there's going to be more consolidation in play. But I'll tell you one thing. You look at this RSI from bear market lows. We had a swing low, higher low, crazy high fear environment right here, by the way. Not even have gotten separation on the RSI from there. There's so much upside in the midterm for Cardano. But you look at this area on the RSI, and then we go back here to this moment last cycle when it's consolidating. Check this out. We are just in that same kind of area. And then when ADA did start moving, check out the stock RSI right there. It's just kind of at that same area as well. If ADA manages now to break, we have 6 days left, this weekly candle, to break above this 200-week moving average. It's the bottom of the bull market doors. That 20-week moving average is right there as well. It's very important, 73 cents or so. If ADA manages to break that area, we could have a very nice short-term power burst for ADA to test the next key area, because that's not the bull market confirmation for Cardano, not even that. The bull market confirmation for Cardano is this. It's that 20-week moving average, ADA falling into that bear market, a very similar area of the last bull market entry, right? That 20-week moving average needing to break that area where it popped up back in resistance. And it's the same thing here. Boom, resistance, trying to break back above. You can see already ADA failed at that area around December. So ADA could be in store to make that power move to that area. I talked about this resistance area in today's video on the very short term. So if you want to watch price action tonight, let's see what happens right now. You know, we have consistent green candles on this daily chart, but there might be resistance. Let's just watch. Let's keep an eye on it. The 20-day moving average currently around 71 cents. We have the 50-day moving average around 72.5 cents. And, you know, this bottom range of this red rectangle you see here is translated from the weekly chart. That is the 200-week moving average, around 68 cents or so. So ADA is in that range of resistance right now. I will be tracking this tonight to see what kind of move ADA can make. The next resistance, if ADA starts breaking above these moving averages in this range that we have here on the shorter term, the next move of resistance is all the way up here around 82 cents. We could have a nice short-term power move. ADA cruising through the 70s, all of a sudden at 80. Be careful in that area. We'll have to track to see if the bulls have enough steam to break it. Otherwise, if it does make a breakout to that area, we might have to cool down again before the next move up. So that's what I'll be watching on ADA. I want to go over to XRP now. XRP telling a very interesting story. One thing that I noticed was when you're just looking at this chart zoomed out on the daily, check out how cool this is. Look at this consolidation. Look at the structure of that after this just straight line up, and just like, I know we're zoomed out on the daily, but look at that. And then we go back and we look at the 2017 move. And I don't know if you were here in crypto then, but just absolutely massive move for XRP, consolidation for months, right? And then a massive move again. So the structure looks so similar on that chart right there. And we can even take a bars pattern. And what I want to do is I want to show you the risk model for XRP in just a moment and what that's saying in relation to these moves. But just take this, right? And you can bring it over and we can slow it down a little bit or, you know, do whatever. But you can just see it looks and it appears like XRP is coming to the end of this consolidation. And the greatest picture of that is the convergence of all of these moving averages. Look at that. They were all separated, that 20, the 50, and the 200. Now look at them. They are just like right there. And if we go back to this move back here in 2017, that's the exact process that took place. Now, keep in mind, Fed printing money in store on the horizon, quantitative tightening coming to an end. Keep in mind, everything that's happening with crypto right now, this pro-crypto administration, the pro-crypto SEC, XRP could have not only just a very similar move to all-time highs like this move last time, but not as fast, right? XRP can have a great, healthy bull market. And what does that look like? This is something we could anticipate. It might not be just boom, over. You know what I mean? That's what it was back then. And the risk model is interesting to look at right now because the risk score for XRP is around 46. And this is right around where XRP was in the consolidation back then. I mean, there's a 50 right there after going kind of crazy. And notice this most recent pop to the upside, XRP didn't get that crazy. 75 on the risk model. Back here, that first swing high hit 100. So this is a great example of how healthy not only that power burst move for XRP was to the upside, but how healthy now this consolidation is. I mean, XRP fell into the 30s. And so there is a ton of room for XRP. And it's very interesting to watch these risk models. I think they're going to look different this cycle, but still act as an incredibly powerful guide in terms of taking profits. This is like a Bitcoin exit strategy that I have open here, but you can see how you can open risk mode and you can look at the risk heat map and you could start setting alerts for when you want to start taking profits based on different risk scores. So you'll be able to do the same thing with XRP, Ethereum, ADA, and others. And that's kind of something I'm so excited about because I want that clarity and I want that data-driven, picture for me to make those take profit decisions. So XRP, though, looking very primed. Again, all of those moving averages coming together. So let's just see if XRP, like others, can break above that 200-day moving average, like $2.36 or so. As you can see, crypto's moving a little bit, but we are at big resistance areas on the shorter term. So it's something to monitor. It's something to keep an eye on. But if we get the breakout, altcoins will explode. BlackRock bought over $500 million worth of ETH in the past 10 days. Altcoins will explode. Everybody. In my view, in my opinion, that's all this is. I think altcoins have so much in store, so much upside in store. This is a story that I will continue tracking. I appreciate you out there. Hit the subscribe. Hit that like if you enjoyed this content. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.